What's poppin' is the new classic of professional wrestling, Billy Dixon, and you better keep it locked to Toilet Side Wrestling Talk. Period.
Hi, this is Brad from Pro Wrestling Junkies, and welcome to another episode of Toilet Side Wrestling Talk. Today's guest hails from St. Louis, Missouri, and began wrestling in 2013, and she trained under Jared Priest and Jay Phoenix. Has worked for such promotions as Crash Tested Wrestling, Lucha Libre Total Chicago, AR Pro, Rocket Pro Wrestling, True Privilege Wrestling, to name a few, of course. She shared the ring with the likes of Moxie Molly, Co Kendra, Awesome Kong, Angelina Love, Billy Starks, again, to name a few. She's 1/3 of the faction ARC, along with Miles Mercer and C-Red. So please help me welcome today's guest, someone who does not have a tattoo of a major credit card number and 3-digit code on their body, Miss Renee Van Peebles. Hey, Renee.
Hey.
So where are you currently?
I'm currently in Chicago.
Okay, is that where you live?
Yeah.
And did you grow up in St. Louis?
So I was born in St. Louis, Missouri.
Okay.
When I moved to Illinois, and then I moved back to St. Louis when I was about, 16.
Okay.
Summer of my 16th birthday.
All right.
Graduated there from high school, and then I moved back up here to Illinois.
Oh, okay. And what part of Chicago are you living in?
I'm new to like the Chicago areas.
Yeah, I just moved from Chicago. So.
I guess like the east side, maybe.
Okay. Like closer to the lake?
Yes, yeah, there you go.
Cool, totally. Do people ever ask you if you're related to Mario Van Peebles?
Yes, and like the funny thing about it is that like when I was creating my name, I created my name when I was in middle school. So I had like understanding of like who Mario Van Peebles was. I just put the Van there because it sounded cool.
Yeah, totally.
Peebles is my last name, and then Renee is one of my middle names, so I just put the Van in there for like some flair, you know what I mean? So
have you since seen the movie New Jack City?
Yes.
Okay. And how often are people asking you if you're related to him, and is it annoying at this point?
No, it's not annoying. I laugh because I always think about the first time somebody had asked me. I mean, a lot of people don't know me, so of course, hear the Van Peebles, especially a lot of like the older, crowds. They're like, "Oh, related," and I'm like, "No, I don't want to lie." Be like, "Yes," like no.
And then if you actually think about it, he could probably be your father. Like it's not like you have like a sibling, your brother. Or your parents waited 20 some years between children to have a kid.
You know what? Like, you never know nowadays.
Yeah, seriously.
I could really be like a distant cousin, and I don't even know.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's something to do if we do another stay-at-home order. You can do research.
So, I'm definitely there's this.
When did you hook up with Miles and C-Red?
So when I started at PCW, Pro Championship Wrestling Chicago. That's where I started my training.
Okay.
I was a year in, and that's when Miles started training. And then from there, that company folded, so we went to Crash Tested Wrestling.
Okay.
And I was with a group called the Dominion. So it had to be maybe like 2015, 2016.
Okay.
And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I'm bad with dates. Sorry, but I think 2016 is when they us to C-Red, me, and then we group, and they added in Miles and John Hudson, and we had Rion Skills. We had a lot of people.
Yeah.
We still do. It's just for the most part, we're the main three that are keeping up with,
Okay.
Yeah, so that's basically where I met C-Red.
Mm-hmm.
And from there, like, the rest is history.
Are you guys close outside the ring?
Oh yeah, I actually work with C-Red.
Oh, okay, so you're very close.
Yeah.
Physically.
So yeah, like I hang out with Miles. I hang out with C-Red a lot. So we're one big happy family outside and inside.
Yeah. Did you go to the Chicagoland Championship Wrestling show?
No, I didn't.
Oh,
I'm going to the next one.
Oh, in April?
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. So is young Renee, what kind of kid were you? Outgoing, athletic, shy?
I think for the most part, I was like an active child. I always wanted to, ride bikes, hang out with my friends. When it comes to like shyness, I think it would be like more so like in school, because I kind of got bullied a lot, but I mean, who doesn't?
Yeah, but still, it's painful.
Yeah, so I think that's where more so I'm more reserved. But when it came time for like, going to like soccer games or even karate, I stand out. I shined.
Yeah. So you were athletic before going into wrestling anyways.
Yeah, like I said, soccer, karate, then I did track. Really wasn't good at it.
But whatever, the practice is the part that, like, if you make it through practice, same as everybody else.
But you know what? Like, with the training of becoming, a wrestler is totally conditioning is very different. Not every day, like learning how to pick back, how to sell a clothesline or, do a face bump and things like that. Like those were going against the norm.
There's nothing that can prepare you for that.
Right. Had just
Were you a fan of wrestling as a kid?
Oh my goodness. Yes, I was. And I still am. But when growing up, I used to like my mom. Okay, so back in that time, 94. So around the time that I was watching, it was the early 2000s. Okay. So still had like bra and panty matches and things like that. Well, did not like it. So every time I had the chance to watch, like the wrestling, I would always mute it because I know she would not want me to see, like Brock Lesnar or anybody that like had blood.
Totally.
Like she just did not get it. And after a while, like she really was like, wow, you really like this? And I'm like, yeah, it's cool. So from then, I just kept watching. There was maybe like 3 years where I actually stopped watching wrestling. That was because the women matches were like 1 minute, 2 minutes.
Yeah.
It just became like defeating. Like what?
What's happening now with like the female revolution could have easily happened during that time. It's just they didn't take advantage of it. Vince McMahon and
I think nowadays, we have more support when it comes to like being women.
Yeah.
And we have more social media.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah.
So I think that's more the reason why it was able to happen the way it did now. But back then, of course not.
How did you hook up with, when did you decide like that you were going to become a pro wrestler? Like, was there like a moment you're like, all right, I'm going to do this?
I mean, middle school, I thought about it, but of course people are like, come on, be realistic, So the summer before I graduated, my friend, she actually wanted to train, but she was too scared to call. So I called Pro Championship Wrestling and I got in contact with Garrett Priest. So of course, I just asked the basics, how much it costs, what are the requirements, things like that.
And this is just you being a good friend. This isn't like you're getting information for yourself.
Yeah, and like the thing is that I didn't even like think to even bother like, well, maybe I can do this.
Yeah.
I'm passing the information along to her. And then the next year, I started really thinking about it. And then I went through my emails because I had emailed him as well. I saw the number and I'm like, well, it's been a year. I don't think this man has the same number. So I called and lo and behold, it was him. And I spent the time to go and check out the school. And of course, my mom was kind of like nervous because it's like the wrestling ring is like in a garage in somebody's house.
Uh-huh.
And and I was like the only female, so
Yeah.
kind of like, oh, I don't know. But
And
I'm
everyone's for the most part a stranger to you.
But you know what? Like, you think about like the Hart family, the Guerrero, like, come on.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, totally.
She's not as how I am with wrestling, so I can understand. But I checked it out and I was hooked. And next week I started training. And
did you the night before training, were you able to sleep, like your first training? Were you able to sleep or?
I was because like I had my wrestling shoes, my elbow pads, my knee pads. I think I even had like a mouth guard because I didn't know what was gonna like happen. But I was really, really like excited. Like I called my friend up and I'm like, hey, you can still join with me. And
she never did?
No, I think her mom, I think her mom said it wasn't like ladylike maybe. But I mean, it's okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's from somebody who doesn't really understand wrestling. I could see that, like a mom saying that.
Yeah, because I guess, from what we watched growing up, that was always in her mind.
Like, yeah. Like you're going to be wearing like skimpy clothing, high heels in the ring,
Exactly. So I understood that, but she never joined. And, I always think about, what if she did? But I have the memories, so I can always share that with
her. And you're so far past it at this point.
Yeah, I'm 7 years. And
had you ever been inside a wrestling ring before training? Like, had you ever gotten into a ring? Okay. And did you feel going into it, like when you're driving to, your first day, did you feel that you were physically ready for it? Did you think so?
Well, 7 years ago, yes. I was a lot lighter. Do what I needed to do. I think around that time, I was getting to that point of being athletic, like more athletic, but things happen and, it's like, but for the most part, when I did start wrestling, I was able to do the conditioning and things like that. Yeah.
Oh, okay. And did Jared go hard on you that first day?
No,
like he would to anyone.
He took it pretty easy. I mean, it was my first day, so I really didn't do a lot. Just learn like holds, like.
And are you working one-on-one?
Right.
Okay.
I would like for Saturdays. That's basically the time and the day that he ran. I would do the conditioning, like running the ropes, learning how to do things like that, and then while everybody else was doing spots or practicing on different things, I would come outside with another person. They would work on my chain with me. So
okay.
That was like that was maybe like a good like month.
Okay.
Later that month as well, I started learning how to bump.
Not till then.
Yeah. So like,
how was the first bump?
The first bump was okay. Because the way that they had me do it, they wanted me to hold my hands on the ropes, lean back, and then just let go and then slap the mat.
Okay.
So the initial bump was brutal because I didn't know to breathe out.
Oh, okay.
They told me and everything like that, but when you're thinking about, okay, I need to have my hands like this, I need to have my hips up like this, I'm not thinking about breathing out.
Yeah.
So yeah, that wasn't good. But over time, I learned how to breathe out.
So is it easy now to take a bump? As far as, I mean, I'm sure it hurts, but like you're not getting a concussion or anything.
I never miss a beat. Like even with like the quarantine and things like that, when I did, take my first bump back, it was like I never left.
It's like knowing how to ride a bike. Like you'll always. So if you got thrown out of a window, I'm trying to phrase this where it's not like so violent. Would you be, or like fell up? Like would you be able to land like the same way?
don't know. I don't like if I got like thrown out a window, maybe it'll be a face bump, but it depends on like how far up we're talking. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's right. I should have prepared that question a little bit. I should have been more thought out as if you get thrown out of a window. I'll take that back. So who thought you were ready first for your first match? You or trainer?
Trainer.
Okay.
I trained for 2 years. And they were like, that's too long. But I'm like, I'm not ready because, you know, like I was very nervous about having to remember like my character and then having to remember my moves that I was going to do, like all that, like, and then having to walk out in front of everybody and people were like staring at you. Yeah, because like once you walk out the curtain, like that's it. Like,
were you going to a lot of shows to watch?
Yeah, while I was training, I did go to a lot of the shows. I didn't have a car, so I would, you know, take buses.
Sure.
North, I would take, you know, my buses and then a train, and then maybe somebody would come pick me up, or I would have another bus to get me to that location. So I would always be there for setup, for tear down, like in between when the shows were going on. You know, I was watching and taking in everything. It's surreal, like watching like the people that, you know, I was training with do their characters and see doing it. Like it motivated me to be better.
Does someone during training in that 2 years, does someone work on promos and character with you? Or is this something that you just have to do when you're at home in front of the mirror?
Well, that's the thing. Like when it comes to like the promos and working on character, like you have to figure out, you know, what you're comfortable doing as a character, whether it's a bad guy or a good guy, in my opinion.
Okay.
And have that, then I feel like if you have the idea of what your character is going to be, I feel like the promos will come naturally because you already have that mindset, you know?
Absolutely.
When I first started, I didn't really understand like how Renee Van Peebles should be. And I feel like maybe like 2 years ago, I kind of got it because I really didn't work on promos. I was very scared to like speak because I would stumble over my words.
Sure.
You know? So I think now I have a good gist of who Renee Van Peebles is, you know?
Was it hard being like speaking in front of the crowd for the first time?
Yes, because I had the mic all the way like this.
Geez.
Like, you know, and they told me not to do that, and I just did it anyway. And people were like, "What?" You know, and I was so embarrassed. And after that, I'm like, I don't want to do that again. I'm not ready. You know.
So when was the next time you did it?
Maybe like 2 years after.
Oh my God! Okay. So you're walking out for your first match. Are you aware of anything, fans, anything that's going on, or you just?
Well, the way my first match happened at PCW, and I loved it. I was playing a crazy fan of the Wild. So for 2 shows, I would sit in the audience, and I would just be so amped, and people would be looking at me like, "Who is this girl?" And at I think the second show, they told me to run in to the ring, and I just ran in there, and people, some of them were like, "Oh, this is a part of the show," but a lot of like, "Is this for real?" Like they were looking because like security, they came and got me, and they like threw me out, like things like. So by that time, for the actual show of me wrestling, walking out, first of all, I was a face, and I didn't know how to be a face. To me, being a face for me is like kind of cheesy because I'm nice. So I'm just going out there like, yeah, woo, you know, woo, you know, you've gone wild and things like. I was in the back of my mind, I'm like, I do not want to do this.
Like this is gonna be the last time. Yeah,
and like doing the first match, it was pretty easy because I only had like little basic things to do.
Okay.
That was a nice like welcoming into my first match.
Were you like exhausted afterwards, like physically?
No, I just think that mentally I was exhausted because I was overthinking a lot of stuff.
Okay.
You know? But for the most part of like move wise, I just did like basic kick stomps,
Mm-hmm.
And that's that.
Were you excited for your first win, like when you had your first win, or does that even matter?
To me, it doesn't really matter. I know a lot of people, especially like if you are a veteran, you want to win, you want to, be strong, or
Yeah.
I care about that. I rather to lose because I am the bad guy. I don't feel like bad guys should win every single time.
Yeah. Is it so much fun playing a heel?
God, yes. I mean, I can go out there and scream. Like, if I'm having a bad day, I can just take it out on everybody.
Yeah.
Nobody would ever know because I'm playing my part.
I think it's more difficult to play like a face.
Yes.
Like you can only stay within like certain boundaries.
Right. And especially like with like move sets,
Mm-hmm.
The choking and the cheap heat and things like that. So, when you're a face, you can't do stuff like that. And I'm like, what? No, I don't do that. So.
Okay, so I'm looking at the clock. I don't want to keep you terribly long. I just have a few more questions. Oh, okay. So when in your wrestling did you start paying attention to the audience? Like, did your first match, like, were you even like hearing if they're cheering, booing, anything like that? When did you start becoming aware of that?
Match, I was like going like through the moves like super quick.
Mm-hmm.
Paying attention to them. So when I really started to like break it down and actually like acknowledge, would probably be like around year 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, this is gonna jump to something else. What's like the base expense being a pro wrestler?
I mean, when I first started, I ordered my outfit through like a fashion website.
Okay. Like, is it custom?
No, it wasn't custom. Like, at that time, the only thing that was custom was my wrestling boots.
Okay.
And that was like $150. And then like my leggings that I had and like my party top that I had were like maybe under $50.
Oh, that's not terrible.
Yeah, like I didn't really start getting stuff made actually until like either last year or 2 years ago.
Is that fun though?
At the time I didn't have a job, so
okay.
But I had, what I mean?
Totally.
Do. So, but now, like, it's fun because I'm able to do what I want to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love like getting my outfits made and stuff because it's different and you don't have to like wonder. Oh, I wonder if somebody has the same thing.
Yeah.
So
it's like your skin, basically. That's unique is yours.
Yes.
All right. So last normal question is: how has wrestling like changed your life outside of the ring?
I'm more outgoing.
Do you have to train? Are you like? Do you have a hard time with like relationships? Not like you like do, but like with the time, is it hard to maintain?
To be honest, like I haven't really been like in a relationship in a long time. I think for the most part, I was dealing with like wrestling and working.
Yeah.
And just hanging around with my friends. I never really even took that into consideration. But I mean, if I do, find a guy, like I would tell him like, this is what I do.
Yeah. And what about like Thanksgiving dinner or Christmas Eve? Like, did you have to be away from your family? And do they ever say, oh, well, you should come to this birthday party, but you're wrestling?
They know that I love wrestling.
Okay.
Like the first time that I started wrestling, like a lot of my family, they were trying to like deter me away.
Okay.
And I'm like, no, I'm sticking to it. And after a while, I guess like after like year 3, they were like, well, I guess you're serious about this. And I'm like, yeah. So like if it's like a major holiday, I will be there.
Okay.
But like a birthday party, I can make it up.
And and your family and friends know that it's not like, I just don't want to go to the party. Like you're working. So I am going to let you go, but I have a bunch of more questions, but we're going to need to do the part 2. Okay. But right now I'm going to ask you, if it's okay with you, 5 random, non-wrestling related yes or no questions. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Yes, no, or you can elaborate. Fine with either. All right. Have you ever pretended to be someone else when you picked up your cell phone call?
Yes.
Okay. Have you ever had something that was alive inside of your mouth?
No.
Okay. For $17,000, would you pretend you were blind for 60 days?
For 17,000?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Is there a post office where you have your picture hanging as wanted?
No.
Okay. And finally, will you be voting on Tuesday, or have you already?
I've already voted.
Oh,
yes.
okay, good. I don't know why anyone would wait till election day. I mean, it was crazy
a
enough.
longer line.
Yeah, I mean, luckily I only waited like 15 to 20 minutes, but still.
Right.
Like, I don't even remember, like, my kids don't have school Tuesday. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like,
yeah,
but
I
I guess.
remember, but I just, when they did the early voting, when they announced it, I just went.
Yeah.
Went. Yeah.
All right. Well, you have an awesome Sunday. Is football part of your Sunday at all?
Typically it is. I am on a fantasy football league with Jared Priest. And
really?
And this is like year 3 or year 4 for me, and it is sucking so bad.
Oh, really? Oh, you have a bad team?
I've lost 5 times.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. And they're like letting me just have it. They're like, yeah, you know.
I was trying to explain to my son how football could ruin my day. You know, how fantasy football can, like, after the 12 o'clock games, I know I lost already and I feel awful.
Yeah. If I don't get notifications, I know something's wrong.
Yeah. This was a great day if you were single, in that you get to watch football all day and you get that extra hour of sleep. It all came together, you know, this one day.
Yeah.
All right, so you go have an awesome day. It was great having you on. I hope you'll come on again because I have like my other set of questions. And stay safe, and we'll talk soon.
You
And
too.
healthy. All right, take care, Renee.
Bye.
Bye.